Let's play this guy first.
Okay, I'm gonna switch rooms now so that I'm not in the same voice chat as y'all, but stream is starting.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks. Alright, looks like we have Seijun versus Tinker Knight. I do not know the remaining teams of these players. But this will be interesting. Seijun has a decent amount of early game power. I think her chances are good. But if Tinker Knight gets the late game, well, he's Tinker Knight. He'll blow you up. Let's see. There is a typo on this, right? Yeah, we didn't actually get the final ref card in TTS. But if he's relying on the ref cards to tell him card stats, I figure I should at least mention the known errors. And that is the Tinker Tank. Hype indeed. Yep, Seijun starts with 1,000,000 cards. Alright, Tinker is taking first. Looks like he's still choosing his mulligan. Typically, you'll want to start out fairly aggressive, but into Seijun it's not very safe because it's difficult to poke her. She gets guard for every 2 cards. She gets 1 point of guard for every 2 cards that are in her hand, which means that she is resilient to fast pokes. Yes, Tinker's life is currently incorrect. I'll wait until the first time he takes damage to correct it. Right now it's just clerical as far as I'm concerned. Or just cosmetic as far as I'm concerned, rather. Yeah, Seijun essentially just needs to go hard and heavy and try to crush him before he gets enough gauge to be particularly monstrous. Tinker striking with 1 card. Okay, so block and missiles are both good plays here. Block essentially guarantees gauge, and missiles can both trade with her if she wants to come in, or secure positioning afterwards. Missiles does not actually hit, but it's a good way to set up. In general, the way to deal with Seijun is to zone her, so effects like the after pusher pull and her seal on missiles are quite useful. What'll she do? So if she thinks it's something actually aggressive, like Mobile Gear or Dive, she should play something like Sweep or Focus, or Foxfire. Okay, that'll work just as well. Mobile Gear only deals 3 damage. Yeah, so this attack would actually have walked into a missile, amusingly enough. But it dodges Dive and it trades with Mobile Gear. So she'll take 3, and he'll take 4, dropping him to 11 life? She can't choose not to hit him. Maximum life, yes. If Tinker exceeds with 5 or more cards engaged, he'll get 20 life. So, she'll set... Oh, that looks like an EX attack. Oh, EX transform. Okay. It's a decent transformation. It is one of the more situational ones, but it's very good at providing late game power surges. Not sure it's worth EX transforming at this stage in the game. The effect on it is hit if you have fewer cards in hand than the opponent plus 2 power. That's not likely to happen for a while unless she specifically goes out of her way to make it happen. Yep, Tinker is real interesting. He's actually one of my favorites in Season 4. Plague Knight, Tinker Knight, Enchantress, Beheaded. In approximately that order. Alright, Seijun boosts life for plus 2 speed. He boosts within my reach. That'll let him play another boost at no cost. So he can basically cheat one of his very, very powerful special boosts into play. What do we get? Very, very good. That is Rocket Fuel. Plus 2 power, plus 2 speed, and before advance 2. So he gives himself some extra confirm, referring to the ability to hit the opponent, and also matches her speed boost. He needs to draw for a turn. There we go. Yeah, it's a fun set. It's not especially beginner friendly in my opinion, but it is very fun. Alright, she'll boost Fierce, so they both have plus 2 power and plus 2 speed. Seijun has a slight edge here because of her ability granting her a little bit of extra guard. As long as she has at least 4 cards in hand, that's going to be plus 2 guard, which means that his extra power won't help him stun her. That's important. He's teching, probably the speed, maybe the power though. They're both fairly threatening here. Alright, with the speed out, his chances of stunning her have improved. This is not because of the power component of that, it's just because he can now play a spike that is likelier to outspeed her. Oh, reading. This is quite dangerous. And an EX attack, which means that she'll have an additional +2 power for having fewer cards in hands, unless Tinker responds with an EX of his own, at which point they will have the same number of cards. This is extremely dangerous. Looks like the reading whiffed. Tinker's revealing his hand. It was probably Spike. No, that doesn't make sense. I wonder what it was. Maybe Dive? Something that she was confident that she could outspeed and stun, or otherwise avoid. He has 2 blocks, an assault and a cross. There's not actually a really obvious good play here, because cross will put him in the corner. He could bank on maybe stunning her with a nice 6 power assault, but it's pretty dangerous, because if she played something like a sweep, he's just not safe. Block is safe, but it'll be very expensive, and it kind of wastes his boost. Although, it's not a waste if it ends up with a card in his gauge. He'll have to pitch most of that hand in the block. Oh dear. Oh, no, that's great for him. He'll manage to stun that. He is speed 8 over her speed 7. He'll advance past her, hit her for 5 minus 1 armor is 4 damage, breaks her guard of 2. Tinker didn't forget about his boost. I hope. So he should advance too. Yep. Then hit for 5 minus 1 is 4 damage, dropping her to 23 life. They got it. Alright, that'll stun her. She only has 2 guard. That was a heavy resource commitment. Very good outcome for Tinker Knight. She needs to ditch those boosts. There we go. Well, she has fairly easy access to her hit for +2 power. Unfortunately, she doesn't have enough cards in hand to threaten big stats in the other direction. Ink Splash is speed based on the cards number. Sorry, based on the number of cards in your hands. Max of 7, or 8 if you EX and you have 9 cards. Sorry, 8 if you have 9 cards and then EX it, because you drop to 7 but you EX for +1. Anyway, point is, she can't be very fast with Splash. She can't be very strong with Spike, Ink Spike that is, and she can't have a ton of guard with anything. Well, she knows his hand, so this is probably the assault. It's kind of face up, right? If she has Yokai Banishing, she can poke it out cleanly. She doesn't have any crosses of her own, obviously, because she just spent the EX cross. If he fails to stun her, she'll get some extra damage off of this. Oh, what? Huh. I guess she thought it was the block. Inari Guidance is a very valuable transformation, so if she thought she could get a free hit in, it was worth taking a risk. Alright, they are now effectively even on life. And now Tinker's up 4. His turn, he has the momentum. If she doesn't have Ancient Ambitions in hand, which is the boost to On Tail of Nine Sorrows, it's going to take forever for her to reload. There it is. She'll draw 5 cards, and then a 6 for end of turn, ending with a total of 7. Or maybe she'll draw 4 and draw 1 for end of turn. It's her choice. Nope. Okay. Took the full draw. She's at 7, which is 2 under her max hand size of 9, because of her ability giving her an extra +2 hand size. Yep, Tinker Knight uses advantage to prep if you didn't catch it, which makes sense. He needs options. He still has 2 known blocks in hand, if I recall correctly, but she cannot punish at range 1. Some characters can. Seijun is not one of them. She does not have access to ignore armor in her kit, and she does not have a particularly punishing hit effect at range 1, although she could hit him for a decent amount of damage. Tinker's considering what to do here. He can block for the gauge while he has the ability to guarantee it. It'll also let Seijun further her game plan, but his is honestly more threatening. He's going to play parry. Try to knock out probably sweep or some other fairly valuable heavy hitting card. Something that can kill him. He could also parry an ultra. It sounds like he parried a special because she's reviewing her list of specials. Here we go. Ink Splash, the fast one. He's concerned about getting outsped. He needs to draw for a turn, yep. I believe he still has a known block. But I think that's the only known card that remains. Zain's got 6 cards in hand. If she strikes from a hand, that'll drop it down to +2 guard. From deck, she'll drop down to +3 guard. She's going to probably just prepare here. We'll find out shortly. Seijun is a boss character. She doesn't interact with resources the normal way. She actually gets a ton of resources for free, quote unquote. But her thing is that it takes her a lot of actions to do things. So she wants to have her hand... Oh, that's right. That was known. Yeah. She wants to have her hand built up pretty well ahead of time so that she can unleash it all in whatever way she chooses. That's actually what makes Nighttail, which is the transformation on Foxfire, so potent. Alright, now that was a sensible parry because the boost on Mech Charge is 2 Force Ultra boost that is +4 power, +2 guard, which, well, gives Tinker access to a ton of damage, as you might guess from, you know, the stats. Lots of damage and the ability to confirm into it pretty reliably are some of Tinker's main, major strengths. He does become kind of insane when he exceeds, but his exceed mode typically doesn't last very long. Tinker Creams are won or lost on his front side. He should be trying to kill you before he flips, and you should be trying to kill him before he builds gauge. How practical that is another matter entirely. Focus and Yokai Banishing. That is bad for Seijun. Very, very bad, actually. She'll probably draw 3 cards with that, putting her at 8 cards in hands, but it will deal no damage, and she will take 4. This basically drops her down to a 13 life deficit. Oof. She does get Meddlesome in play, which is a transformation that lets her cancel boosts. Basically, when Tinker plays a boost, before making any decisions, she may discard a copy of that boost from her hands. And if she does, the boost is discarded without effect. It does not resolve. It's a very useful transformation. Yeah. Tinker is tearing Seijun apart. I believe Tinker initiated that. No problem, J-Taps. I'll put that up on screen, actually. Seijun strikes. That looks like 1 card. At range 2. Spike is the threat here, in my opinion. It could also be Assault. Not Ink Spike, but actual Spike. She is out of Foxfires and she's out of Crosses. So... Tinker Knight can probably play the block. He can afford to eat a Spike here. Wild Swing, that's also very sensible. Ah, it was the Assault. Okay, so he shouldn't validate that because it doesn't have any defenses until he's succeeded. Keep going to the next card. Ah, pity. Well, assault into counter assaults, the, responding assault just isn't very good. Unless it's Seijun's, but in this case she initiated. So she's going to stun him, win the strike cleanly, deal 4 damage, gain advantage. This is good for her. Obviously. Puts her at range 1 Tinker in the corner too. She needs to be careful that he doesn't evade with, yes, Initiator wins speed dice. She needs to be careful that he doesn't evade with a Flail, or EX Flail, to jump out of the corner with a fast poke, because her hand size is low enough that she can't reliably guard through it. But she might be able to finish him off here. She's going to boost Defend. Alright, she doesn't have a very good hand shape then. She is running pretty low on cards in hand. If you're going to try to run Ninth Tail, which is the +2 power if you have fewer cards in hand than your opponent, you need to know when and how you're going to use it. Hovering at a mid-sized hand is much weaker than either blowing out most of your hands and staying at a low hand, or building a very high hand and then waiting for opportunities to blow it out all at once. She has 2 other transformations which help her do this, although neither of them are in play at this time, but they give her ways to spin force when she sets her attack. Tinker prepped, putting him at 6 cards in hands, digging for those options. I think he parried, so he's out of known cards, meaning he doesn't even have a block in hand. That's a bit unfortunate. I would normally hang on to a block. I could be mistaken, though. She's initiating. Okay, well, since Foxfire's down, this is likeliest to be 4 cards in hands. Probably just sweep or spike. Not spike, sweep or focus. Like, there's not much that's good to play here. Ink Spike for 4 damage? Okay. Well, like, it's for a transformation, and it's a very good transformation, so that's fair. Tinker will probably spend a force to take no damage. Maybe not, though. Like, this is going to be his 5th gauge, so if he wants to just start accelerating toward exceeding with an abundance of resources, it's a good time to do it. Exceeding does mean he loses access within my reach, but both copies of Bond Bounce are already in his discard, so that's not a huge problem. Wait, what? Oh, that was an EX Ink Spike. Okay, so 5 power. I didn't realize. Still. Alright, so now she has, when you set an EX attack, you can spend up to 2 force. For each force spent this way, plus 1 power. It's a good transformation. It also means that she can easily get below her opponent's hand size to make Ninth Tail proc. Proc meaning activate. With only 4 cards in hand, though, her chances of having an EX in hand remaining after that are not very high. Especially after he parried an Ink Splash. Yes, he did parry the Ink Splash, I remember now. Alright, it is Tinker's turn. I don't think we've seen any flails yet, so he could still be drawing into EX Flail any day now, which is just a really, really good move. Flail's a swift melee poke with after advance 2 and hit draw a card. But getting a little bit of extra armor by EXing it, and yeah, getting out of the corner in particular are quite useful traits. Yep, range 1 only. Missiles, okay. That'll give him some after positioning, which he might actually not want to put her at range. Hard to say, depends on what his hand shape is. But yeah, it's going to be 4 power. She will probably spend to absorb it. She can't afford to drop much more in life, considering how far ahead he is right now. Yep, that makes sense. And then he has after pushable 1 or 2. Gives him the ability to position his opponent. There is a great irony in the fact that Missiles, which is one of the iconic attacks of Tinker Tank, is arguably better for Tinker Knight to play than the Tinker Tank itself. Oh good, she has the other Ancient Ambition, that'll let her reload, which is really important because, yeah, her momentum had slowed down considerably. She needs to hunt for EXs. She also needs to draw for end of turn if she was drawing 5 cards with that boost. But if she only draws 5, that would imply that she named 4. Reshuffle soon for Seijun? I mean, yes. I think Tinker's out both foci, which means that she doesn't need to take the reshuffle action. She can just let it happen by drawing through her deck. Plus, if she has a focus, she can always use Metal Sim to negate his attempts at reading. In other words, I'm agreeing that she'll reshuffle, but I don't think she needs to take the action. I don't think we've seen any copies of Tale of 7 Trials, so she could be saving that to use for force. She did indeed not draw a final card, so she must have implicitly chosen to draw 1 fewer than she could have. That's if I remember the hand sizes correctly. Alright, Tinker prepped. He's comfortable enough at range 3. In fact, he's comfortable enough in general. So the main thing Tinker has to be careful now is essentially to flip soon. Oh, thank you for the follow, JTaps8. The thing with that is that if Tinker is allowed to draw the game out Sorry, if Tinker is forced to draw the game out long enough, he may end up with many of his good options down, and little ability to pay out with his remaining resources. Alright, so she has stun immunity and opponents cannot move past you. She's deciding how to pay for it, changed her mind. Draws for end of turn. Well, that's good. It means she's immune to spike and dive. It is strongest in this position. The question is, does she have something that will let her kill him? I do not remember if she has... I think she's down one spike, but not both. I'm not in the game, so I'm not tracking discards nearly as carefully as I normally would. Regardless, it is Tinker's turn, and he should be fine with this. Letting Seijun hit him is just going to let him flip, which he's in very, very good shape to do so. Both might be gone. Oh, no, one is in hand. She accidentally tipped her hand a moment ago. Just by paying the force cost from hand and then changing her mind. So we definitely know she has a sweep in hand. Alright, he's boosting. Yeah, boosting. So spent 2 force. He has +4 power and +2 guard. That's pretty good. He needs to draw for end of turn. Yeah, so by playing stun immunity, she kind of declares her intent to trade. Okay, yeah, teching that is a good idea. So it did kind of invite him to throw power onto his attack. I don't think we've seen any drill arms left. That's a very potent attack with a very good boost on it. Alright, he's striking with 1 card. Could be anything, really. Sweet, the other missiles. Mobile gear, even though it just gets blown up, he will land the hit. Like, chipping more life off of her while he can with power flipping is definitely valuable. Flipping with a ton of gauge also means that he'll be able to use ultras after his reshuffle very well. Okay, sweep for sweep, 6 for 6. So he's going to hit for 6, burn a card out of her hands. At random. It won't stun her. She has 6 guard and also stun immunity, because why not? And then Tinker will get in the mech to get on Inari Guidance. Here we go. Yeah, she needs to pull a card out of his hand. You can hit R to randomize your hands. I don't know what he's doing. Alright. Well, you'd have to select all the cards in your hand first, and then hit R. Anyway. So yeah, she's at 9, he's at 20. Eh? Oh, okay. They're resetting that way. Sure. I don't remember where they started. In this case, it doesn't matter because they don't have any other stuff on board. In real life, the Tinker Tank card has only like 1 line of text on it. The rest of it is just the instructions for what to do when he flips. That's 20. Alright, I believe that he initiated, which means it is her turn. This is actually pretty important. She's gonna have a very difficult time coming back. It's possible, though. Until he plays a boost, his card shapes can still generally be beaten cleanly. You just have to make the read and have the option. Though she has thrown a lot of options at this point. Her boost needs to leave play. I'm assuming it's just a cosmetic error at this time. Seijun deciding what to do now that the end has come. For those not familiar with Tinker Tank or Tinker Knight, when Tinker exceeds, he gains life equal to 4 times cards engaged, max 20. I mentioned that earlier. He then hops in the mech and turns into the Tinker Tank, a 3-space wide character. This means that you can calculate range to 3 different spaces. She's preparing, which will soft reveal her hands. So 137 yokai, splash, and 7 or tail. So okay hands, not the best, not the worst. But yes, this, as I've mentioned in other videos, I think, is a common courtesy but not required. She doesn't reshuffle yet. I'm not sure why that happens. Yeah. Like, the empty deck remains empty until you need to draw a wild swing. It does not cost us gauge, that's correct, JTAPS8. Tinker still has all that gauge. Finally remember to discard that boost. Okay, so now she'll prepare, and that'll reshuffle. I'm guessing it's prepare. I don't know for sure. Ah. Nope. That is more than a prepare. She'll draw 3 and then 1 for end of turn, putting her at a total of 10. Alright. Kyubi no Kitsune. Hey, Jeffies, if you feel like hopping in, I wouldn't object in the slightest. I'll send you the info. Be fine. Alright, looks like Tinker preps. Kyubi no Kitsune draws at start of turn. So yeah, Kyubi no Kitsune, or the nine-tailed fox, draws at the start of every turn. So hey, if you're from certain other card games, great, this is the character for you, except that it will, teach you a bad habit for every other character in the game. Which, is comical. Hey, Jeffies.
Hello.
Greetings and welcome. Alright,
What if I missed?
we are neck deep in the first game. So it is Seijun versus Tinker. Tinker is in very good shape. Seijun not so much. Seijun has just exceeded. So I was just telling the audience about Kyubi no Kitsune. Her hand size is unlimited. She no longer gains guard based on the cards in her hands, but she draws at the start of turn. So she's going to start racing toward the end of her deck, but in return she has a ton of cards all the time, which is pretty great for collecting options.
Do you think her higher accessibility to EX attacks is actually going to give her an advantage over Tinker right now?
I think it is going to be necessary, because she does have the transform that lets her gain spend force on EX attacks to increase their power, and she's 11 life behind against, suited up Tinker Tank. I think she really needs those stats to make the comeback. We've seen both copies of Sweep and both
Yeah.
copies of Assault down. That's concerning.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, and FYI, Tinker Tank has yet to reshuffle.
It's good to know.
Yep.
My internet might be having issues.
No worries.
I might have.
No pressure. If you have to drop out, that's no problem either. Thanks for hopping by either way. This is super scary. So Tinker charges forward with Run. 2 spaces. He can't move farther because he can't fit in these spaces behind her. He'll draw for end of turn. Cuba no Kitsune draws for start of turn. It's a lot of cards. Oh my. Draws that look like 5. So, and then the end of turn. Yep, took the full draw. There are 3 cards left in her deck, so she has 3 turns to kill Tinker Knight from 20 life. Yeah, she's gonna need that EX power. Oh, Jeppies did disconnect. Yeah, since she draws at the start of her turn, means she will draw at the start of the next turn, and the turn after that. And then the next time she draws after that, she dies. So she'd better be prepared to throw a lot of power at him in very short order. I think it's Tinker's turn, too. Tinker's best play is actually to boost instead of striking. If he strikes, he gives her more chances to attack, basically. If he can boost for armor, in particular, it'll help his resilience. He can also just boost for stats to try to win the next strike cleanly, because he has some monstrous stats and he has a lot of force to spend. Speed, hey, one of my favorite stats. Probably my favorite stat. Alright, she'll draw for start of turn. And we'll slam an EX attack with +2 power, almost certainly. She does have Defend in play, and Tinker Knight doesn't have a range 1 Guard Crush, short of just raw power. That said, he might well play something like an EX Drill Arm here, to hit for a tidy, what, 8, I think? But she definitely needs to spend the force, otherwise she just won't have enough damage. There is one actually very reasonable way that she... No, never mind. She drops Tale of 9 Sorrows. It would have been reasonable for her to win the game by collecting and playing EX Tale of 9 Sorrows with +2 power to deal 12 damage after 1 or 2 other attacks. But she will no longer have that option. Could be Grasp. Yeah, she needs more damage, so it would be better if it was something like Foxfire. It's a pity that she's out of... that she can't play EX Spike, because Spike is almost guaranteed to hit Tinker, comically enough. That said, if he plays Defend... Sorry, if he plays Cross... No, he's out of crosses. What does he have here? Flail, I guess. EX Flail? Is it finally time? Oh, it is the EX Drill Arm, but that is going to get outsped. Alright. Doesn't really matter. Let's see. It means she doesn't get Guard Crush, which is good. So she'll hit him for 4. -1 is 3. He spends a Force to Validate, because that is a 4 special. Drill Arm stats are pretty bonkers once he's succeeded. Very mediocre beforehand, though. 1, 4, 3 with 3 guard, but now it is a 1, 7, or in this case, 8 4 speed with 1 armor, 4 guard. So she will not stun him, and she cannot get out of range. He'll only take 3 because she didn't spin for the power. I think that will prove to be a fatal mistake. It's not going to work because he has extra range in this attack. Doesn't matter where she moves him, he will hit her back for 6 after armor, excuse me. Yep, different set, Byron. The players this time are Zain and Gyakuten King, I believe, is his name on the sheet. Yeah, if she had spent for +2 power, she would have stunned him. Alright. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minus 2 is 6. I believe they made an error on how much damage she takes. Okay. Yeah, they were both the X. It is still mathematically possible for her to kill him. Won't be easy, though. She draws at start of turn. Okay. Caught it. That is her second last card. Her deck is now 1 card. So, in some order, she needs to play... she needs to basically play 2 9 damage attacks, right? He's out of blocks. If she can play Tale of 9 Sorrows for 9, and something else for... Oh, honey. Shuffle that hand. Or just don't play that, because that's super, super unsafe. He has used all 4 of his ultras. Alright. Seijun is EX attacking. Is she spending for power? She really, really needs to. There it is. Makes sense. Block is basically dead to her. She's got to do damage. Alright, so she has +2 power on this. So ideally, this is something like Foxfire to deal 9 damage. Tinker should probably defend on curve, or just by playing Flail, which has 3 printed armor. He needs to mitigate her damage as much as possible and just outlast her. Let her deck herself out. Yeah, if I counted correctly, J-Type's 8, all 4 Tinker's Ultras are down. Seijun has 1 Tale of 7 Trials in hand, which we know about because she accidentally tipped it. And I believe the other is in discard. No, I think the other is actually also available. I could be wrong. And then she has either 0 or 1 Tales of 9 Sorrows remaining. Hey, Wyvern. Yeah. Long, patient pause. What does Tinker play? It is Flail against the hilariously unsafe Tale of 7 Trials. My goodness. Flail was pretty much correct against everything here because it has 3 armor on it. But yeah, he's going to hit her for 3, -1 is 2, and stun. And she, yeah, can't come back from this anymore. So she takes 2 and gets stunned. This attack, if you're not familiar, is it's power X, which is cards in your hand, so she was trying for a real Hail Mary play. But unfortunately, the best response to the Hail Mary is the 3 armor flail. Yeah. So, actually threatening lethal there, I believe. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Plus, so 14, EX is 15, plus 2 is 17. Yep, threatening lethal. But yeah, she gets stunned. Tinker can't advance. He draws a card. That goes to his gauge. Tinker's turn. He just has to wait. Like, she cannot kill him anymore. Did you spin the gauge? No, she did not. Good catch. Oh, Tinker EX attacks, looking for the decisive kill here. What have we not seen him play? Oh, am I wrong? Nope. Alright. Sweet, no. No. Grasp? Might be Grasp. Oh, and she'll beat that with her speed 8. Power 5. Yep. Plus 2 power. Power 7. Okay. Tinker was a little bit careless. He shouldn't have struck. So that'll deal 6 damage after armor. Pretty sure she still mathematically can't kill him. But it was a nice thought. Yeah, so X is 7. Speed is 8. Oh, wait, hold on. No, no, no. X is 7, speed is 8. That doesn't go to 9. She dies. I'm bad at math. Sorry. False alarm. GG. Okay. QB dies to Tinker Tank. Let's update that overlay. Which does mean Tinker is out of the run. It did at one point, Jay. I'm pretty sure. Been looking through too many old cards lately. Alright. I didn't catch the remaining characters in their teams, honestly. So, let's see if I can dig up that spreadsheet while we wait. Or no, hold on, maybe I did. Oh, hey. This is the new module update. Eugenia. Yep. I'm not familiar with either of them either. Alright. Although, hold on, he just pulled her out? I guess they just trust each other, which is fine. You're supposed to reveal secretly, you know. Ooh, Eugenia Remiliss. This is pretty funny. Eugenia is one of the handful of characters I think actually can really cause problems for Remiliss. As a Remiliss main, I know both these characters very well. Remiliss is one of my absolute favorites, though. Nevertheless, since GyakutenSage won the last game, I'm obligated to cheer for Eugenia. I should probably fill those in. Fighter 2. I will refrain from putting hearts next to Remy's name. Oh, whoops. Hang on a second. Oh, that was Carl from the last set that I did this on. Okay. Yeah, Remy is not a fan of forced discards. Can confirm. Yellow Death is very, very cool. I won't be very... I don't really expect it to come out this game. Like most Season 2 characters, it's definitely a situational exceed, but it is so fantastically over the top that I do admit to love it. The 0.6 Eugenia, huh? Well, I'll see if I can't re-implement her in some form or fashion. That sounds healthy. Alright, Remy's taking first. Standard play here would be either to transform Toxic Tendrils from hand or just prep, or run into range 1, where Remy is much scarier and Eugenia is much less scary. So Remy is, so these are both kind of grappler-esque characters. Remy is a hard-hitting heavyweight, close range. Very, very good at close range, very, very scary at range 1. She does prep. Eugenia is a mixed grappler, or a half grappler. Someone who has ranged pokes to control space and threaten her opponent. Basically annoy her opponents until they decide that they have to come in, at which point you use your backbreaking close range hits. So she has a bunch of little pokes, and then she has the big slam wear light, the big slam color spray. Color spray is dropping already, which is interesting because it means that Remy doesn't have to be as scared of dropping out completely in terms of cards in hands. Color spray is a very, very threatening attack when the opponent is low in hand size. It is a potentially stun immune suite, and it can drop the opponent's. It can force the opponent to discard if you play it, if you play it in a very unsafe way, I'll say. So defend into EX color spray is not uncommon, or reading into color spray is not uncommon. Remy runs to range 1, seems reasonable. Yeah, it is important to know that Eugenia won't have her backbreakers online until late game. The only early backbreaker that she has access to is good old-fashioned Sweep, because thanks to her character ability, Sweep can sometimes deal 8 damage. That is extremely rude. Remy will probably take the push because discarding cards at random is too dangerous. I agree, Jade. It will almost never force the discard, but it can on a reading, as you taught me very painfully one day in a certain Seijun game. Alright, Remy takes the push, of course, because she can always get back in. She can't always get cards back. Well, she can get cards back for a good amount of time, actually, but not always. Alright, so Eugenia has a decent transformation up. It gives her EX attacks and wild swings hit the opponent with discard a card at random. The really important half of this is the wild swing half. Wild swings are already not consuming a card from your hand during a strike, so this basically makes her wild swings up an additional card. Remy strikes without EXing? Confident. It's just dive. That is an invalid Queen of Hearts. Into block. That's pity. Alright. Well, Remy goes into range 1, gets a hit with dive. At least it's a low value hit. It's not something like Toxic Tendrils or Irradiate. If Remiliss lands Irradiate, if Remiliss lands Toxic Tendrils, or gets a transform by other means, her threat range extends, quite literally, and she becomes, well, she becomes very hard to deal with. A bit of a monster, actually. Spins a cross. That's a surprise. Cross is a good defensive card. Alright. Yep, both players draw up to 4 cards and discard a card at random. They will almost certainly both take the 4. Eugenia obviously will do this to reload her hands. It forces Remy to overdraw, but Remy has ways to spin cards, so Eugenia discards. First, yep, this matters. Okay. Remy didn't choose to draw very many. That's surprising. Maybe her hand is bad enough that she's okay with parts of it getting discarded. Blows that out of the water, doesn't it? Ground Zero is less valuable than her others, so it has printed speed of 3. Eugenia's ability is that when she forces her opponent to discard 1 more cards, she may reveal a card that matches the printed speed of one of those cards. If she does, it'll deal 2 non-lethal damage. The hugely important part of this is that if she does it during a strike, that 2 non-lethal damage counts toward the damage of the strike. Now, it can't kill you, but if it's a hit effect, that happens before the lethal damage anyway. So it basically just contributes extra damage toward your attack. this combined with the transformation on Shimmer of Madness, which we will almost certainly see come into play at some point, means that she will get an extra +2 to +4 damage on a lot of hits. This is how she makes her backbreakers work, by the way, since her printed stats are fairly subpar. Ground Zero is a huge explosive range 1 threat. It is not the highest value of her cards as far as transformations goes. She can afford to have one copy down, but it is a very important threat to be able to hang over your opponent's head. If both Ground Zeros are down and you're at range 1, the opponent's a lot less afraid of you than they otherwise would be, excuse me. Remiliss Strikes does not spin Force. Surprising. Oh no. Well, gets hit for at least 2 damage. Shimmer Madness now has 2 discard effects on it, and she'll also get a very valuable transformation into play here. This is fantastic for Eugenia, actually. You couldn't really ask for a better setup. So first you discard 1 at random, reveal the same spike you revealed earlier, naturally. And then the hit effect in Shimmer of Madness causes Remiliss to reveal her hand and discard a card of Eugenia's choice. This is an extremely valuable strike. Hit effect. Hit effect. There we go. Whoa. Okay, so Consumption or Irradiate are the obvious choices here. Oh, no, Focus is the obvious choice, actually, because Eugenia is holding a known normal. Alright, turn off. Admittedly, anything in that hand would be good to discard. Alright, so that was Remiliss Strike. So Eugenia's now boosting Wear-Light. It's strange that she didn't reveal Wear-Light instead of Spike when she was revealing Speed 3s. But yes, once again, Remiliss must choose, either get pushed to range or discard more cards. She's going to choose the push because discarding, especially out of that hand, is pretty darn bad. Remiliss needs to jump back in, so she's probably going to be... Well, or she could risk the Irradiate, but that's very, very dangerous. Yeah, she has a known Irradiate, it's true. And Eugenia has dropped 1 cross, which is one of the main ways to answer Irradiate from range like this, so she might try for the Irradiate. She preps. Wait a second, what am I saying? She should have played Reading Spike and then Irradiate, right? That's like the guaranteed Irradiate play. Oh well. Well, Eugenia's EX attacking, which means it'll have an additional hit the opponent with discard a card at random on it, thanks to the transformation of Color Spray. Yeah. It's probably absent an arrow, but it might be EX Dive. EX Dive normally doesn't scare Remiliss very much, but with Eugenia's hit effects, it could actually break guard of just about anything. Yes, this attack is very scary. It's not EX Wear-Light, that's about the only saving grace, right? Oh, Plot Hook, okay. Oh, non-EX Irradiate. That is a very rare play, and extremely unsafe. I wonder what the call was there. Plot Hook pulls 5 and gains advantage. Deals at least 4 damage. Maybe 6, depends on the hit effects. Okay, they seem to be remembering the other hit effects. Non-EX Radiate only beats bluffs. Gets rid of the focus, any reveal, yes, deals 2 additional damage. So the fact that Eugenia has advantage here is a huge deal, because Remiliss is almost out of cards. If Eugenia can force 1 more discard, then she'll gain access to that huh? There you go. Yeah. Alright, so it's Eugenia's turn. If Remiliss loses one more card, then Eugenia gets her +2 power transformation online. And that'll force Remiliss to discard, and also Remiliss won't be able to take the prepare action. That's pretty bad. Edit Insanity. This is the perfect time to do it. So Remiliss discards. Oh gosh. Well, minor error. She accidentally drew her entire deck. You're gonna get that. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, Remy's discard happens first. Ha! The other focus, my goodness. Alright. Well, this is extremely bad for Remiliss. She can take the change cards action, or she can strike. Both options are bad. There's not much to say about it. I think change cards is the likelier play here. She needs to get a better hand size. Probably spend everything. Like, hand engage. She is pinned down rather badly. EX Wild Swing would be a mistake. Not the worst mistake, but a mistake. So the hard part about playing Remiliss is resource management. Oh no. Is this a strike? Oh no. This is a pretty hype mistake, as you say. That's an EX attack. Alright. So Eugenia takes 0. Remiliss can't retreat. Remiliss discards her last card and takes at least 7 damage. Yeah, this is solid Eugenia play. The Remiliss is getting destroyed. So the hit effect from Unhinged. Yep, there it is. And that was Remiliss' strike, so it's Eugenia's turn. If she has good attacks in hand, she should press the offensive. Otherwise, she can prepare or change cards. The pressure is on Remiliss to probably take a change cards to action the next turn. She'll use defend, increasing chance of hitting with her next attack. Remiliss, don't prep. She preps. Yeah. So the thing is that Eugenia can just use time for tea to force Remiliss to discard a card at random, and probably take 2 damage. Yep, that's 2 damage. Eugenia needs to draw for in a turn, I think. Oh, man. Yep. Remiliss boosts Fierce and draws. Definitely getting desperate. Although I don't think we've seen any Napalm streams. If she hits an Engineering Destruction, or at least can play EX Napalm stream, she'll get to some damage. There is essentially, however, well, the players can't hear me, so I don't mind saying it. Even if they watch the video later, that's fine. There's probably no coming back. Like, Remiliss is too dependent on effective resource management, and Eugenia has stripped away all of her resources and left her with no ability to recover. Yep, spinning a force to get rid of that last card, and does she reveal the Queen of Hearts? Or Grasp. Oh no, she spent a Queen of Hearts. Weird. It's a good card. I'm surprised she spent it. Yep. So, the additional benefit of this for the Eugenia player is this might tilt the Remiliss players so hard that they are at a disadvantage in the third game. Secret tech. I'm half joking. But Eugenia is... she's got Remily in a chokehold. Like, there's really... yeah, Remy's desperate. She's wild swinging. Eugenia responds with an EX attack, which together with that defend boost is pretty much guaranteed. Yep. Caustic Vent hits for 5 minus 2 is 3. And then Remiliss dies. Yeah. Eugenia has 26 life. That is an effective Eugenia in full operation. Yep. Remiliss draws 2, discards 1, but it doesn't matter. But, you know, she should probably do it. Or they might just skip it and clean up because the decision is foregone. Yep, there it is. That was an 8-power dive. Maybe 10, actually. If Remiliss drew and then discarded, she would also discard a card at random. So whatever she chose to keep, she would then have to discard, and potentially Eugenia could match it for an additional 2 damage. And Eugenia was still holding EX Sweep. Whew. That was a frighteningly effective Eugenia. Alright, well, that will go decisively to Eugenia, which knocks her out of the running. Let's see. Oh, man. Alright, well, after that brutal grappler game, will we see this grappler come out again? Looks like we might. Seems like they're just chatting for now. Picking out their next characters. Seijun. Who's available? Not actually sure. I mean, obviously we know Seijun is available for Zain, and Remy is available for Gyakuten. Not sure who their thirds are. Yeah. It seems like they just pulled the characters out of the bag directly, instead of using the blind bags. Yeah. Remiliss chooses to go first. Wait. But Seijun needs to draw 2 more cards then. There it is. Wait. Then I guess Seijun's going first. Yes, okay. That is what has happened. Alright. Alright. Let's see if things go better for Remy this time. Remy lost the last game, so I have no qualms about rooting for her this time. Seijun also lost a game previously, so feel free to root for anyone you like. Shuffle, shuffle, here we go. Seijun's up first. Looks like we have an EX transform or an EX attack. EX transform, once again, turn 1 Foxfire. Still surprised by this. It's a pretty good attack. I would normally keep it. I'd actually try to land it. It's also going to be hard to have fewer cards in hand than Remy. Like, sure, Remy likes having cards, but she also likes spending them. Free force, advancing, I guess. Or change cards. Is she ordering her discards optimally? That's the question. No, she's not. Oh? Almost did. Decided not to. Maybe discards across, that's fine. It's a good card, but like, you're fishing for transformations at the moment. What? That's weird. Stun immunity from here is really only setting up in our guidance, and it's pretty telegraphed. Shuffle. Okay. And our guidance doesn't have very good confirm, is the thing. Like, its confirm is specifically awkward. Remove boost light, makes sense. This turns on the threat of speed 7 toxic tendrils, which honestly would be worth trading with in our guidance for. Seijun boost defends. Sure. If Remy has tendrils, she should absolutely play it here. She doesn't even have to EX it, she can just hit. Toxic Tendrils is important in virtually every matchup. It is the transformation which reads your EX attacks up plus 0 in range. Keep in mind that Remiliss's ability lets her make any attack EX by spending force. That means that she can have extra range at will, albeit at a high cost. Remy also boosts defense, just gonna lose less life on the trade, when and if they trade. Oh dear, the parry comes out. Looks like she named Irradiate? That's very surprising. Irradiate is not telegraphed here. It is a perfectly viable attack, so don't get me wrong. In fact, EX Irradiate is just as capable of hitting everything and trading with an Ari Guidance just as well. But the transformation on it is lower value. it is also, at least in my opinion, generally easier to hit with than Toxic Tendrils. And the huge advantage of having Toxic Tendrils transformed is it makes everything else easier to hit because it gets extra range. We have a parry come out on Remiliss' side. Not sure what they're parrying. Oh. Wow. 1457 splash. That hand does not contain an Ari Guidance. Seijun has been bluffing. It's probably time for a big change cards action then. By Seijun. Remiliss needs to draw for end of turn. Yeah, I think CC4 or CC5, probably CC4. Oh, just moving one. Wow, she must be very confident that Remiliss doesn't have a reading in hands. Like, if Remiliss has reading, it's pretty trivial to beat Seijun here. Reading dive, play Toxic Tendrils. Reading dive, play assault. Reading focus, play dive. Got a lot of options. If she doesn't have reading, though, you can still do most of those things. But dive is definitely the safest play. She doesn't even have to EX it. Speed 6 dive is just gonna work. Oh, no, wait, hold on. Forget dive. I forgot about that. Yeah, Heart of the Mountain has opponents cannot move past you, as well as stun immunity. So specifically, it beats dive. Alright, Remiliss is striking. It's probably Tendrils, at least that's what I would play here. What do we got? An EX? Okay, so should you do the second copy of something? The Assault? Sure. So Remy hits first. It's actually bad for Remiliss. Very surprised it's an Assault play here. Doesn't feel like a good time for it. Yeah, Remiliss is faster, speed 7. Hits for 4, minus 2 is 2. Gets it for 5 minus 1 is 4. Yep, deals 2, takes 4. And, because Seijun was slower, Seijun gains advantage last, meaning Seijun is the one who's taking the next turn. Yep, 2 damage to Seijun. It's interesting. Seijun didn't respect the threat of reading, but Remiliss also just didn't have reading. At least to all appearances. And she'll take 4 after armor, that is correct. They both get gauge, they both lose a bunch of boosts, and then it is Seijun's turn. Yep, they both get an advantage, but the person who has it last is the one who kept it, so to speak. Seijun preps. Meaningfully rearranges her hand. Still is carrying that dive, if I recall correctly. Remiliss should probably prep to try to draw into a focus, although I think Seijun is also carrying a focus, so reading focus might happen here. Trouble is, focus is pretty hard to punish, even for a monster like Seijun, because she just doesn't currently have the ability to crush it. Although, I guess if Remy prepped and Seijun did reading, she would be able to crush it with a sweep because of her Ninth Tail transformation. All theory crafting, though, it looks like Remiliss is just striking without EXing. Oh my. That is such a shame it wasn't EX. Ground Zero has 7 power in this case because of its hit effect, which if the opponent's at range 1 plus 3 power. If she had EX'd it, it would have been 8 and it would have crushed focus. As it is, she will trade. Deals 5, takes 4. excuse me, but it gains a very potent transformation. Deceptively useful because it lets you filter your cards, or filter your hand and burn through your deck. There you go. Alright. It is Seijun's turn. Oh yeah, the transformation on ground 0, by the way, lets Remy take the, get an extra card from the change cards action, so she can, well, she could change card 0, which is functionally identical to prepare. She could change cards 1 to draw 3 cards, which is the most common use case, or 2 to draw 4, and so on. Yeah. Seijun prepares, building up that hand, building up those options. Remy also prepares. Seijun boosts light. She hits 7 cards, which is 2 below her maximum hand size. I wonder what she's planning. It does mean that she has a fairly safe cross. Not perfectly safe, but fairly safe. Notably, Remiliss can play EX Nuclear Option at range 1, which has range 1 of 4 if you don't have tendrils, otherwise it's 1 of 5. 5 power and a total of 6 defense, which is quite good. Remy strikes, does not EX, and trades well. That is a speed 8 Ink Splash. Very, very fast, but it only does 4 damage. Remy will hit back for 6. Well, so far they're staying pretty close, which is generally good for Remiliss. Seijun wants to have and maintain a lead. Remiliss wants to trade fairly evenly because her closing potential is enormous. Like, Remiliss is quite happy to stay neck and neck with you. I believe that is the second cross down on Seijun's side. That's a big deal. No ability to cross out of melee makes Remiliss that much more potent. Or to cross out from range. That was the... Huh? Oh, the prepare action. Got it. She now has a transformation, which is when she uses prepare action, she may spend a force to move 1, which buys her some much-needed action economy at the cost of force. As I mentioned before, Seijun is a boss character. Doesn't really interact with resources in the normal way. She gets a ton of cards, but she struggles to find the time to do what she wants. In other words, action compression is very, very good. Remy's turn. Remy's at 5. She is likely to take a change cards or a prepare action. Either way, she'll end up at 7. Boosting nuclear option is also a pretty good play. Oh, there you go. Yep. So this is a boost that makes her next attack EX and gives her an after effect to spin a gauge to return to her hands. She needs to draw for a turn. Yes. Then Seijun can take it. There we go. Very, very sensible on Seijun's part, in my opinion. Seijun needs to draw for a turn. Yep. And then it's back to Remiliss. Range 2 isn't great. Moving forward 1 would make sense. Preparing or change cards would also make sense. We have a strike. Apparently not spending to EX anything. But Seijun, on the other hand, is EXing. Only has 5 cards left, though, so it's probably Yokai? Yep, Yokai Banishing, there it is. Whoa! Bare Naked Toxic Tendrils, that is pretty unusual. To say the least. gets poked out. That is a devastating loss for Remiliss. She will be able to recover it, but the fact that she spent her own turn to do this is very bad for her. Seijun pushes 1 and draws 2. This is sensible. Getting some distance to Remy is good, and range 3 is a very good range for Seijun, especially since she now is at a hand of 7 and can take her turn to draw to 9. She also has Meddlesome Transforms, which is good. She'll be safe against a number of things as long as she can maintain a stock of normals to cancel them. That was actually, even though that was only 2 damage exchanged, that strike was of immense value to Seijun. A moment ago, it was anyone's game. I would now say it's tilted heavily in Seijun's favor. Remiliss can still bring it back. She still has another Tendrils, and she still has at least 1, if not both, copies of Caustic Vents available, which will let her, the boost on Caustic Vents lets her pull a card out of her discard pile. So she can get it back. And then she still has Ground 0 and Irradiate to play with. We'll see. And 1 remaining nuclear option. Alright, Seijun strikes. Oh my. That was quite a read. Yeah, so Ink Splash comes in at speed 6. Caustic Vents at speed 5 will not do much of anything, unfortunately. Gets stunned out by 4 damage. It looks like Remiliss was reading the Ink Spike, which would have been speed 4 and had 2 guard. It's Rumi's turn. She desperately needs to reload. Probably should spend a gauge to change cards, or both gauge to change cards and draw until she has 7 cards in hand. The disadvantage of spinning with gauge is that with no cards engaged, the boost on nuclear option is less potent. Initiate launch, I believe it is. Remiliss is now at a life deficit of 5. This is good for Seijun, although Remiliss can absolutely still come back. She is very scary when it comes to comebacks. It is Remiliss's turn. Okay, Engineer Destruction. That'll be a great help. So she reveals the top 4 cards of her deck, discards any number of them, puts the rest in her hands. By default, ditch all the normals, take the rest, but there are times when it's just correct to take everything. So we'll see what we get. Okay, so Caustic Vents and Nuclear Option are automatically things to take, and then Grasp and Dive are decisions. It's up to her. Personally, I would double check my opponent's discard because I don't remember how many focuses are down. She decides to take all of them. She'll then draw for a turn, putting her at a max hand size of 7. Alright, so she is at risk of being readings, but she has full hands. Parry! Okay, that's honestly could be a lot worse. And Remiliss can still play Reclamation to retrieve Tendrils or Nuclear Options from her discard pile. Yep. And what will she reclaim? Nuclear Option? Looks like she's searching her discard pile. Irradiate. Okay, she must have drawn the other Irradiate. There's very little other reason to have that, or to reclaim that card. Unless you are ready to EX transform it, like right now. Seijun's turn. She's attacking with an EX attack. Well, it's not Assault, so it's not going to give her advantage, so this could be worse. Feels like a Spike or a Dive. Might still be Ink Splash, but it's a very low value Ink Splashes, so Remiliss has a lot of options here. It's probably correct to EX something with those known normals. She could also just Wild Swing. Maybe both. If she has Cross, it's actually probably correct to play Cross. Filters all the worst options, and you know that she's not playing Assault or Ink Splash. Wait, actually, does Cross just beat everything then? I think it does. Ooh, not spinning to EX is going to cost her. Hey, thanks for the follow, Reggie's War 1. That name looks familiar. Yeah, so that would be a low value. That is a low value Ink Spike, but it you know, brings me to tears because Remiliss could have beaten it, but she didn't. It'll deal 5 damage. 5. Assault was engaged, but it doesn't matter because she doesn't have radiate transforms. Like, it wasn't automatically EX. Okay, I forgot one of Seijun's transformations. That's my bad. Alright, EX Transformer Radiate. That seems correct. 12 life deficit. Okay, Remiliss needs to get to range 1 and threaten EX ground 0. Huh. Once again, just like in the previous game, Seijun chooses not to take the full draw off of that. I think. Wasn't she at 3 cards before? Oh, maybe she was at 3 cards and then played 1 and then drew 6. Okay. So Ancient Ambition is draw up to 5. So if you choose to draw 5, you'll then draw for an turn for a total of 6. Oh, I totally thought we were going to see a reading play. Remiliss does move to range 1, however. She's threatening EX ground 0. That's a big deal. I think that actually one copy of EX, or one copy of ground 0 might be down, but she can get it back. Looks like Seijun draws. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Well, she's safe from reading. Oh, whoops. Got hold of that caustic event there. One, 2, 3, 4, 7, and both the tails, and I believe that was an Inari guidance in there as well. Good hand, safe from reading, lots of guard. Yeah, she really doesn't have much in the way of weaknesses right now. Remiliss might be able to win a mix-up, but she's forced to run mix-ups. Wait, what? Oh, she was preparing. My mistake. Rather, I thought she had finished drawing. I guess she only drew the last card in her deck, and then she spent a force to move. She's now drawing for an turn. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright. Range 2. Fair enough. Doesn't really feel all that good, honestly. Would have probably stayed at range 1, personally. But if Seijun can take the corner, it's good for her. Ooh, is this an EX attack? Is she spinning 3 force? Oh, what? What does she have in hand? Like, she's got to be holding at least 2 natural EXs in hands to make that worthwhile. And maybe, and I guess she does have the other ground 0. Instant immunity, opponents cannot move past you. Yep, that's going to make Seijun practically invincible. But yeah, flipping to Yellow Death here is very, very unusual. Tosses in an Art Guidance, also pretty unusual, because holding that to transform it is definitely more common play. Alright, it's Remiliss's turn. She must have had a combo in mind when she flipped. Tech? Alright, well that's fair actually, because whatever you throw at Seijun, she'll probably trade back and kill you while she has stun immunity. This is very exciting though. Like, Yellow Death definitely has something up her sleeve. Other than, you know, nuclear fire. Seijun boost light. This is the Zain that is just Zain. And I think they're spelled differently. I think the other one is Z-A-N-E. I could be wrong about that though. But one of them has a suffix, and this is just Zain. Remiliss checks the discards. Totally fair, Reggie. Oh, it actually is Reggie's War and everything. I guess my overlay could only display so many characters because it just said Reggie's War 1. Like Reggie's War on A. Sorry about that. Gave you the wrong shout out. Or an inaccurate shout-out. Reading. So does Seijun choose to discard a card? Like, Seijun can just discard focus to negate this. I guess she's thinking about it. Wait, what? Hold on. Remiliss needs to set her attack. Like, it seems Seijun is not discarding copy of focus. Yeah, because Remiliss is attacking. And Remiliss wouldn't be setting a strike if Seijun, like, if Seijun had canceled the reading, then nothing would happen here. And it looks like the reading did land on grass. I'm very surprised Seijun let that go through, because this is going to be 11 damage. Yep, grass misses. Then ground 0 hits, pulls 1, hits +3 power, hits +3 power. It is auto EX because of the transformation on Radiate, so that'll deal 11. Puts her back in this. I'm pretty sure Zain still had a focus in hand, and I think it was definitely a misplay to let this go through. Like, even not knowing what your opponent's going to call, it's just... Because that's what you have to do. That's how you have to do it, by the way. Like, the opponent goes, I'm playing reading, and you go, alright, hold on. And you can discard it to cancel it before they name a card. Like, they have to wait. If they name the card, like, if you wait after cost before decisions. So they spend 0 force, they play the boost, and then before they name a card, you can decide to cancel it. But yeah, that's going to do 11. Wait. Okay. Alright, that was a good reason to flip the yellow death. Remiliss did with the reading, because Seijun didn't cancel the reading. Yeah, so Remiliss played reading, Seijun did not use Meddlesome to cancel it. They were at range 2. And then Remiliss declared Grasp and struck with a copy of Ground 0 that was automatically EX. It's pretty fantastic. Seijun is now striking with 1 card at range 1. Well, Remiliss doesn't have Ground 0, that's for sure. And she'd have to have a natural EX attack to throw an EX here. So this is pretty safe. Like, just a sweep is pretty good at closing the game here. Remiliss is notably, like, much sturdier at 6 life than 5. At 5 life, she can just die. But at 6, Napalm Stream is guaranteed to save her life. Because Napalm Stream says you can't take more than 5 damage during the strike, basically. I think technically the wording is from the opponent's attack, but yeah. Oh, Yokai. Wow, I did not expect that. Alright. Well, Seijun will get to build some distance and or reload on cards at her leisure. Pushes 2, pushes 3. Okay, chooses not straw. That's fair. Let me think. Wait, what? Gauge? Gauge. Yeah, gauge. There you go. Does no damage, but gauge is nice. It's force. Sometimes it's also actually used for gauge costs, such as in the case of her Tail of 9 Sorrows Ultra. But at this point, I kind of doubt we're going to get that far. Life totals are pretty low. Exceed maybe for Remy? What do you mean? Yes, Remy exceeded earlier. I was very surprised at it because she spent 2 gauge on it, but she must have had the ground 0 in hands. She's probably boosting to return ground 0 to her hand. Oh no, she's changing cards. Got it. So that'll buy her 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, and then 1 for end of turn. If she chooses. Yeah, no problem, J-Taps. Things happen fast here. But yeah, that's why ground 0 was 11. Okay, revealing her hand as a courtesy. 3, 6, 7, Tendrils Napalm. Hey, what's up, Blue? I was going to radio stream if you were still going when this is finished. Things happen fast here. Okay, that's a lie, but... what the heck? Alright, Seijun striking 1 card. Alright. Okay, that's kind of funny. So, Yellow Death retreats. Seijun may advance or may not. Her call. Either way, she won't hit. Yeah, the cross will dodge here. Leaves her mid range 1 on Remy's turn. This is pretty good. Like, this is fine. It's kind of fine for both players, though. Obviously, letting Remiliss initiate is much riskier here, but she can't spin force to make her attack EX, so... So yeah, the question is now... Yep, okay, Seijun takes the advance. Alright, Remiliss's turn. We saw most of that hand and it wasn't very good. I'm guessing a boost defend or another change cards action is coming up. Well, Remiliss taking her time, and I don't blame her. Pretty decisive moments are happening now. She could die at any time, and if she gives Seijun time, things get worse. Yes, she has an automatic EX block. If she really wants one. Likely to use the change cards action. But I wonder. The players here are Gyakuten King and Zain. The Zain that is just Zain. Cross into Tendrils. Cross stuffs that neatly. Wow, that was an amazingly unsafe Tendrils. I think a Grasp was known in hand though, so it's not like the cross was completely safe either. If I'm correct about that, I could be wrong. Either way, Seijun's turn. Not looking good for Remy. Seijun preps, decides if she wants to move, does move, spins a force from Gage, draws for a turn. I'm surprised Remy did this well actually. She was down considerably more until she landed the reading, which I was pretty sure Seijun had a focus in hand that she could have used to cancel, but she didn't. Remy preps. Interesting that she preps instead of changing cards. She might still take the kill if Seijun is careless and walks into an Irradiate. Seijun preps, moves back in. And draws for end of turn. And draws for end of turn. Remiliss boost light. Seijun should probably walk forward. Oh wait, no, never mind. She doesn't have access to Ink Splash. Ooh, that's probably a mistake. Then again, Remiliss doesn't actually have that much damage. She has to throw literally a sweep to kill Seijun right now. Well, or an EX attack. Wait, what? Wait, what? Did Seijun just discard an ultra for the draw, but also... or for the move, I guess? I guess she spent the ultra to move, but she hasn't drawn. Needs to draw. Thank you. Remy plays defend. Okay, back to Seijun. Defense feels pretty extraneous here. Like, much better off just changing cards. Yeah, okay, another prepare. Spends something. Moving closer and closer, yep. Like, the defend 1 armor when you're at 2 life does not do wait, what? Oh, okay, that was for hand size. But yeah, I mean, Seijun is presumably holding a block, and just needs to get to where she won't get spiked. Remiliss probably should have played the spike, but hey, what are you gonna do? How many cards are in these discards? Seijun's waiting for me to strike. Yeah, that makes sense. Then it gives Seijun the initiative. That does make sense. So this is probably the block by Seijun. Yep, it is assault. Okay. So assault is sensible, actually. Getting advantage is good. Yeah, Seijun will obviously spend a force to take no damage here. But Remiliss gains advantage, which is a big deal. If Seijun has another block, then she might still come out of this okay. Remiliss will probably either boost or strike. Or, again, take CC. Always an option. Especially for Remy. Surprising to see that she hasn't, well, okay. She has made use of the transform, but she hasn't made as much use of it as I would expect. Pull out your 3rd ground 0. I mean, I saw a CC with consumption instead of boosting it to return ground 0 from gauge, and I was surprised. Because that was after Yellow Death was in play. And, like, the natural play is to return ground 0 so that you can threaten EX ground 0 again. Which, hey, if Remy has consumption now, she could do. Speak of the devil. Yep. Scary. Alright. So that will end Remiliss's turn. Seijun has an opportunity now. Game plan Remy is get 3 transforms, exceed, EX assault, EX ground 0. Alright, Seijun plays defends. This actually makes a lot of sense for her. Like, she can play a speed 5 thing and probably kill Remiliss, and it's very hard for Remiliss to stun her. That's assuming Seijun has any assaults left. If she doesn't have an assault, it makes less sense. Pretty spaghetti ending? I am not familiar. I mean, Remy should boost light if she has it. Oh, returning card from discard. What'll it be? Block? Like, I'm not sure what else you return here. Ah. Yeah, that actually makes sense. End of turn. Whoa. I think she missed an end of turn draw. Yep, there we go. Seijun striking. If this is the assault. Yeah, I'm a little surprised how much they're missing the end of turn draws. It is a tense game, that's true. It is the third game. And whoa. Oh, that's really funny. Oh, that's so funny. Remiliss pulls, well, okay, no. They can make decisions here. Remiliss could choose incorrectly and just die. But if she pulls 1, then Seijun will advance 3 and miss. Yeah, I guess she didn't have an assault, so she played budget assault. She advances 3. Yep, that'll miss. That was interesting. But yes, advancing 3 gets you there. And you miss. Alright. Seijun's defend is out of play, and it is Remiliss's turn. And Seijun's at 4 life. And both ink splashes are gone. Remiliss might have this after all. I wonder. She probably boosts light though. Just trying to secure it. Like, she returned that sweep for a reason, and I'm betting it was to boost light. What do you mean, don't throw, Blue? Remiliss was the one who threw Seijun. Is this the longest match of the day? I don't know, it's been a long set. I have no idea how long I've been streaming. But it's felt like a very long set. I mean, I think I've only done 2 sets today, so... Stunning mute. What? You're at 4 life, girl. Over 2 hours. Oh my gosh. How? Sun immunity was, let's say, bold. Very, very bold. Die for me? No. She should play a speed 5 thing. Like, Seijun is not using her draw tools to build hands. Wait. Is Spike the only speed 5? Yeah, I guess it is. Okay, so Spike, sure. EX focus with power and range. Neither of them have the ability to throw range on things. It's a pretty unique late game. Yield Death Strikes. 1 card. Here we go. What do we get? Seijun might actually play EX Focus. Extra Life is mad, yeah. Sup, dude? Hey, it could be an EX Jack. I think the other Assault is dead. And EX Grasp would be pointless. It could be EX Block. You don't know. Let's hope it's not. Oh, an EX from Seijun. Is it actually? It is the EX Focus. It's the Ground Zero. So that is 5 power with 3 armor, does 2 damage, does not stun, and cannot pull. Yep. Yep. 5 minus 3. I don't know if they're new or if they're just exhausted. Not that I really expect the last point of life to matter, or the second to last point of life to matter much, but you know. Lost focus. EX Focus with range would have not been checkmate, but it would have beaten that. Like, still would have lost a spike, right? I'm assuming a spike was available. Don't know for sure. Well, this is pretty crazy. Heart of the Mountain's out of play, they just haven't discarded it. Seijun is parrying. What do we got? The other light, Caustic, Nuke, Irradiate, Napalm. Alright. Rad Stream, Caustic, option 2. Draws for in a turn. Oh, whoa. That's the Seijun is about to check out. She really shouldn't have dropped that block. Boost nuke there. Depends what's left. Like, depends what those 5 cards are on Seijun's side. Playing block would have actually been a lot more expensive. Because that would have been 8 power, or yeah, 8 power. Cost at least 2 more cards. Hopefully they are aware that Heart of the Mountain is actually discarded. Remiliss is striking, probably Caustic Vent. It's on curve. Focus and block are dead. Seijun needs to, like, cross? Like, I think Seijun's out of crosses, but that's the thing that saves her life, right? Yep, GG. At last. That brings the set to a close. Last card is Grasp. The Spectacularly Attentive can do the card counting later to figure out what's left in Seijun's hand. I'm not going to bother. I will update the visuals though. So close. Oh wait, Remiliss won. I was cheering for Remiliss. Woo! Remy! Hurrah. I forgot who I was cheering for. That's my girl. Alright, is anybody else streaming a game right now? Doesn't look like it. Alright, well, I'm going to close off the stream now. Thank you all very much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the games. And, you know, I will see you all around. you know, over there. Bye.